Ahmed Nauzad wants to change his homeland Kurdistan with fashion, suits, ties, pocket squares. He favors an old-fashioned Western style combined with traditional elements and materials from the region. He and his friends have founded the first gentlemen's club in Iraqi Kurdistan, in the capital city of Erbil. Fashion is not the top priority in this region plagued by conflict. But Ahmed Nauzad and his friends want to change this. They use social media to spread their ideas, but not everybody welcomes them with open arms. Ahmed and his parents fled Iraq when he was a teenager. He lived in Germany for 14 years. But when Islamic State fighters advanced on Erbil in 2014, Ahmed made a life-changing decision.
Dann habe ich mich einfach entschieden, wieder zurückzukehren.
I decided to come back. I was in Germany. I had everything I needed. I was fine. But I felt bad that my family was still here and that ISIS was nearby. I couldn't keep on living like that, so I decided to come back and help my family.
Ahmed is 28 and works as a manager in the energy sector. He spends all his free time working on the Mr. Erbil project. Erbil's economy boomed after Saddam Hussein was overthrown in 2003. High-rises started popping up all over. But the conflict with Islamic State has hit the economy hard. Unemployment is high. And then Ahmed got the idea to create his club.
People were just sitting around at home. There was nothing to do. They were in a bad mood. So we decided to create something positive so that people would have something to do again.
The club members always have their phone cameras ready as they walk through the streets of Erbil. Later, they post the pictures online. Mr. Erbil now has 40 members. A lot more people would like to join, but membership is closed for the time being. But no women members are allowed. The group believes that Kurdish society has not yet reached the point where a mixed-gender club would be acceptable. But on social media, club members do campaign for women's rights. They have over 100,000 followers.
Every Thursday, we're trying to reach out to those active ladies, whether they are trying to produce a product or trying to be active in some fields in this region. We describe them to our audiences just as an inspiration for the other young ladies.
Women enjoy a good deal of respect in Kurdistan, but many Kurds believe that women shouldn't be allowed to work. Domestic abuse is frequent. This video is trying to raise awareness of this issue. This is the Citadel, a local landmark. Erbil is home to about 1 million people. Most of them are Muslims, but there are also Christians, Jews, and members of other faiths. But Mr. Erbil has no time for religion or politics. The members focus on style and fashion. They draw inspiration from this market in the old city. Traditional Kurdish clothing is sold here, like these turbans called yamanas. Kurds who believe that they are part of a fighting tradition accuse the club members of being too Western and betraying their ethnic and cultural heritage.
When we started, my brother thought it was a stupid idea. He didn't want to hear anything about people wearing suits, dressing smart, and taking pictures.
What you guys doing is wasting your time. You're just showing off, wearing clothes. Everyone is wearing clothes, and at the beginning it was difficult to have let's say, a proper conversation with them.
We got a lot of negative feedbacks, like you trying to imitate Western style, you try to do this and that. So until we get to a point, but those comments didn't stop us from moving forward.
But the members of Mr. Erbil say they're not betraying their roots at all. They're just combining different styles and traditions.
The tie that I'm wearing today, for example, is made from Kurdish material, goat's wool. That wool is used only for men's clothing, so we used it for our collection of ties.
There are shortages everywhere, so a lot of materials have to be imported. Still, the Mr. Erbil group makes a point of working with local entrepreneurs. Here, several club members are discussing the range of available fabric colors.
And what's the great thing about this one is you can see the lines and the knot of it, and every meter, every band of the fabric is different and unique. You cannot find the same thing as another tie. For example, we're gonna make our ties with this fabric, and you cannot find the same tie in the same collection.
None of the members knew much about fashion at first, so they improvised.
In the beginning, the first samples we designed by ourselves. We created, we all self-taught Google and YouTube, of course, and we started with it. And of course, we lost a lot of money and time with it because we always tried to find the perfect size of it, and finally we actually did.
It took them a year to finally find a tailor who could make ties for them. Most of the others had no idea. Many had simply never made ties before, since they are not an item of traditional Kurdish clothing. The group members found a supplier of goat hair wool, but it was a 3-hour drive from Erbil, almost on the border with Iran. A local family there makes wool according to age-old traditions. There's not much work in rural areas. People try to earn a little extra cash by raising farm animals. The local children explain to the visitors from Erbil how to find the house. And then they introduce themselves. Schler Tofik is said to be 105 years old. She's lived here all her life, making thread from goat hair. It's hard work.
You've got to comb it piece by piece. And then you keep turning it and turning it until it becomes thread.
This painstaking work is definitely not cost-effective, but it still provides a much-needed source of income for the family. The gentlemen from Erbil may be unusual clients, but they're still very welcome here. Omer Nihad is responsible for marketing and advertising.
When we release our ties, we're going to do a very nice advertisement. So we're going to show our customers that this is how it makes to make it more special for the audience, for the customers.
Mr. Erbil's members hope to set up their own fashion line one day. In fact, they'd like to sell their clothes worldwide, but for the moment, they'll concentrate on Iraqi Kurdistan. Selling overseas just isn't practical right now. But they do post pictures online. And it's not only the clothes that matter. The members' hair, beards, and mustaches have to be perfectly styled. That means regular trips to the barber. Ahmed says he's pleased with the final results. Now they're ready to hit the town. The club members meet about 4 times a year. They take photos and exchange the latest news. With their expensive cameras and fashionable suits, they really stand out in a crowd. Some of the local residents resent that.
A lot of people think that we're rich kids, but that's not true, unfortunately. We used to wear second-hand clothing that we bought at a flea market. All of us work 5 or 6 days a week. We're really trying to create something with our own hands and our own work.
The members would like to have an official meeting place one day, and who knows, there might even be a similar club for women.